Okay, well, welcome back to Lights and Lug Nuts. Again, this is David. This channel is basically what I call a semi-bright review, where we are going to look at a bunch of different types of truck lighting and hopefully expand beyond watermelon lights in the future. But that's where we're starting off. The last video that I did was on an 1157 standard base from Grand General. It comes in a kit. The kit I had ordered was a dark amber kit, but we were specifically concentrating on the base because we wanted to see what the difference in the bases were among all of these different kits. So what I have today is this 1156. Is this 1156 Plus kit. Now the Plus kit is a little bit different than the standard kit. So when you see the price difference, I want to say that I found the standard kit as $18.99 from Horse and Buggy, which I am not sponsored by anybody. That's just one of the first prices that I saw, but I did see them range from $18.99 to $21.99, somewhere around in that low 20 to high teens price range. And that was for the standard kit. What we're looking at here is the Plus kit. It is a little bit different. So what you get with the Plus kit, you still get your stainless steel ring with stainless steel Phillips head screws, which is holding on to this gasket here quite a bit for me. Stainless steel Phillips head screws, just like in the standard kit. And one thing that is different from the standard kit, you will immediately notice, is with the standard kit, we just got a regular round O-ring. With the Plus kit, what we have here is a stamped with the Grand General's markings on it, their name. It does not have a part number, but it is a square rubber seal with eye holes. So for what it's worth, I'm not doing any long-term durability tests, but I can see where this could potentially be a benefit over the regular round gasket that you receive in the standard kit. The glass is also slightly different from the Plus to the standard kit, and I'll show you a difference in that here in just a minute. I have mine just written here as so that I can keep them apart. But there's the glass. It is very good, high-quality glass. And then the next thing you'll notice is that the lower gasket is also different. In the standard kit, you receive a foam gasket, and in the Plus kit, you get this rubber gasket, which is about the same thickness. As a matter of fact, I still have my Plus gasket, or my standard gasket right here. Here you can see the thickness difference. The foam is probably slightly thicker, but with time, this foam is going to compress down, and I've not had this very long, and you can already see where it's compressing a little bit. Here's the rubber gasket, the rubber O-ring from the standard kit, and this is the gasket from the Plus kit, so you can see the differences there. I really think that the gaskets are going to make a good bit of difference when it comes to durability over time. The next thing I want to look at is, when we talked about the 1157 standard kit, we talked about the clocking of the bulb and how that was going to make a difference in light output, and we were going to see that later on when I got into the light output videos. I've got an amber 1156 bulb here, but I'm going to put this clear one in here so that we can actually see the filament. Now this particular one, and I do want to mention this, the stainless base on the Plus kit does appear to be a little more polished than the base on the standard kit. Now, I don't know if that is intended, but it is something that I did notice. So I do think with this particular kit, and I don't know, this could be a quality control thing. This could just be, a freak deal where I just got lucky and this piece of stainless just came out a little better. Or I don't know if they actually source a little bit higher quality stainless for the Plus kit or not, but I have noticed that this also is a little bit better polished job on this stainless. Now the base, the entire base is stamped stainless, so it is a single piece of sheet metal stainless. The back is two two mounting studs, which I have mounted in this test piece. And this particular one, if you'll notice here, there's a screw that comes in from the bottom side of the base. This screw has an eyelet where my ground is connected to. So unlike on the standard kit was grounded to one of the studs. This one actually is grounded to the base itself. So depending on how you do that. Now what you need to remember is that if you plan on, you should be able to remove this if you don't want to ground it that way and just ground it directly to the stud like the standard kit. But if you have to mount it or if you have to ground it with that screw, you are going to need a slightly larger hole to keep from pinching those wires. That's why this hole is actually larger here. If you choose to remove that screw, first off, I would worry about water infiltration, and I would silicone that up. But if you remove that screw and you choose to ground it to one of the studs, then you can get away with just a much smaller hole to bring out your hot lead on that. One of the things we looked at in the standard base was the clocking of the bulb. Now this one, I'm going to mark this right there. And right there. Now, we're pretty close to dead on the 1156 socket on this particular one, that it is 90 degrees from the indentation where the glass is molded. So this would sit here like this. Now, that's going to give you a little bit of a shadow here and a little bit of a shadow here. So you might have two sets of shadows where the glass is indented and on the ends where the filament is. So that is possibly going to affect it. However, because it's symmetrical and it's at 90 degrees with the bolt holes or the screw holes for the glass, I don't think it's going to be as noticeable with the 1156. I don't have an 1156 LED bulb with me. Haven't purchased any yet because I wanted to get through all the bases first. But if I look at this, I can tell you that this is going to mount almost exactly the same if I look at the pegs on the 1157 bulb with the bulb base here. So I have a feeling that this bulb would sit here just like this, and my shadows cast would line up exactly with the indentations on the glass, and this would give me, this particular base would give me a perfect symmetrical light output or starburst output. So with that being said, we're going to look real quick at the part. This is it, and this is from Grand General's website. This is the 92-420 Watermelon Plus glass lens kit. It is an 1156 base with my dark amber, so that is the correct part number. This one does go for approximately $28. Now, this is from the Vernon Truck Works website. I have ordered, I want to say that this actual light that I'm holding here actually came from them. So that is probably exactly what I paid. I don't know what the review is here on this. Let's see if I can see the reviews. All great. One glass lens has apparent defect. You can see something between the layers. So this is the poor review here is going to be on the glass part. That's going to be a defect on Grand General's part. Nothing for the Vernon Truck Wash. So with that being said, we see about a $10 difference between the two, the standard and the plus. The other thing I did want to mention, I did want to show you before I forget, this is the plus glass, okay? I can't remember. I'd have to count them. I want to say it's 12 or 16. I'd have to look at my spreadsheet, ribs in this glass. The standard glass has far fewer lines in it. So the pattern is going to be significantly different between the two. And there you can see. Okay, so all of the pluses come with this, which is more of an ultra burst type or starburst pattern. and these are more, the standard glass is more of a watermelon type. Now, the other thing I have noticed is when you hold these side by side, the standard glass does appear to be slightly darker than the Plus. And I think that has to do with the molding process and the fact that because there's far more ridges and valleys in the Plus glass, that it's actually thicker or thinner on average throughout. So the glass actually appears a little bit of a lighter color. Now, we'll also be able to see this when I get into my color testing, but that is something that I wanted you to be aware of, that if you're going for a very similar pattern between all of your watermelon lights, the standard glass is different from the Plus glass if you're using only Grand General pieces of glass. So that's just something to remember. But with that being said, this is the 1156 Plus kit from Grand General. I'm going to put this back together, and I'm about to record a video. I have actually 5 more bases that I'm going to show y'all. And so I'm trying to knock all of these videos out together, and we're going to get them to you. And then after that, I'll start putting together some color tests. But this is what I wanted you to see. I wanted you to see this clocking of the filament in these particular bases. This one looks to be pretty good. Now, I cannot say whether or not, because these bulb bases are stamped into the overall housing, that's always stamped in the exact same orientation. That's just something that I can't say one way or the other. But on that note, I just want to say thank you all for joining me. I appreciate it. If you like what you're seeing here, if you like knowing exactly what's going on and what kind of product you're getting when you get these and the gaskets and whatnot, give me a thumbs up, like, subscribe, share with your friends so that other guys can be as educated on everything as you are. All right, man. Thanks. Y'all have a blessed day.